Hi there, today I'm going to show you how I make my favourite carnivore and keto friendly ice cream. So this ice cream uses the whole egg, not just the egg yolk. That gives it that light, kind of fluffy, creamy sort of mouthfeel, the same as traditional ice creams. So let's get started and I will show you how I make this. Hey, I'm excited today. I get to make ice cream and it's been a while. So this ice cream is carnivore friendly and keto friendly. Just depending on what you allow in your diet, you can adjust it to suit. So for this recipe, we are going to need eggs, we're going to need cream, we're going to need cream of tartar. If you want a sweetener, we're going to need some kind of a sweetener, and if you want flavoring in it, we're going to need some kind of flavoring. So let's get started. We are going to need 4 eggs. Now these eggs, I have amazing pasture raised eggs from just down the road from me, and we are going to need 4 eggs separated, egg yolks and egg whites in 2 separate bowls. Make sure you don't get any of the egg yolk in with your egg whites, because otherwise they're not going to beat and go stiff the way that we want them. Okay, so that's 4 eggs separated, and I'm going to have to get a measuring cup because I thought I was all prepared and I forgot to get my measuring cup. Alright, so that's my eggs. We'll put them out of the way. And to the egg whites, I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Now, if you don't want cream of tartar in your ice cream, it probably doesn't matter. So we have 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, and I've got my trusty beater and I'm going to beat those until they are stiff. Okay, so they are nicely beaten. You just want them to be beaten enough that you have the stiff peaks that will form when you lift the beaters out. Alright, so I am going to add 1/4 cup of allulose to my recipe. Now if you don't want to add allulose to yours, you don't have to. You can add another type of sweetener if you'd rather, or you can just do without sweetener altogether. I prefer to have some allulose in mine. I can get the bag open. So this is a 1/2 cup measure, and I've got probably about 1/4 cup of allulose in there, and I'm just going to sprinkle that. I'm just going to get the lumps out of it first, and then I'm going to sprinkle it. I might actually need a sieve. I'm so organised when I'm cooking. So not organised. Alright, so I'm going to pop that in there and sieve that because it has got lumps. Hard lumps. Alright, that's done. So I'm just going to fold that allulose into the egg white. And now, my glasses out of the way, I am going to Just whisk up these egg yolks. So that's our 4 egg yolks that we separated earlier. And I'm going to fold those into the egg white mixture as well. Now I want to talk about flavouring. So you could either have this just as it is, or you can, oops, I've forgotten the cream. I knew there was something else. So we need 1.5 cups of cream, and I'm going to whip that up until it is nice and stiff as well. So got 1.5 cups of cream in there, and let's beat this up. It's all done. Now if you're thinking about asking why I'm using the beater instead of the Thermomix, it's because these are a lot easier to clean and take up less room in the dishwasher than the Thermomix jug does. Okay, so I'm going to, you're supposed to fold the egg whites into the cream, but because I've got my bowls all around the wrong way, I'm actually going to fold I might fold my whites into my yolks first and then the cream. I don't think it really matters which order I do it in. So I'm going to fold my egg whites into my egg yolks. So this is my egg whites, cream of tartar and allulose mixture. Fold my egg yolks through that. So you don't want to beat this, you just want to fold it because you want to keep the air in the egg white. Keep them nice and fluffy. Now I was going to talk before I realised I'd forgotten my cream, I was going to mention about flavouring. So as I was saying, you can leave this without flavouring at all, or there are loads of different options that you can use to flavour this ice cream, just depending on what you want and what you allow in your diet. So for me, something that I have thought about using but I haven't actually tried at this point is using a protein powder. So for example, this in New Zealand we get this Mitchell's bone broth protein powder. This is a chocolate flavour. It is sweetened with monk fruit. Now instead of using the allulose, we could use this, or could use a combination, just depending on how strong you want your flavour. You could just use cacao or cocoa if you wanted a chocolate as well flavour. I haven't actually tried that at this point. I will probably do so in the future. The Mitchells also have vanilla flavour. They have some other flavours as well, which I haven't tried. I tend to stay away from kind of the more artificial flavourings and opt instead for something that's a little bit more natural if I'm going to have something like that. The other thing which I have used in the ice cream a lot, even prior to carnivore, because I used to make this as a keto version of ice cream, is doTERRA essential oils. So one of the great things about doTERRA oils is that a lot of them are suitable for ingestion. You know, anything that you would normally eat is pretty much suitable for ingestion. So we have a lot of different citrus oils in the doTERRA range. This is wild orange. This blend here is Citrus Bliss. So this Citrus Bliss oil, I've used this a lot in ice cream because it's amazing. It has all of the different citrus oils plus vanilla. So you have that tangy, citrusy flavour along with the vanilla flavour with this oil, and it smells amazing and it tastes amazing. Other options, I mean, there's so many options. There's all the other citrus oils, you know, you've got lemon and lime and grapefruit and mandarin oils that come out as specials. I don't think there's any permanent mandarin oils at this point apart from green mandarin. Green mandarin is a permanent one. You have things like ginger, and then there's different herbs. You know, you've got fennel and anise and different oils like that you could potentially use as flavourings as well. So I have here today some vanilla. So doTERRA now do a Madagascar Vanilla Absolute, which I have used in my ice cream, and I've also used it in cheesecakes and carnivore style cheesecakes. I'm going to use some of that, and I'm going to use some Citrus Bliss. So I'm going to use the Citrus Bliss, which already has vanilla in it, and just kind of boost it a little bit with a little bit of extra vanilla. So what I'm going to do is, before I put the cream in, I am going to put in about probably 8 drops of this. 7, 8, 9, one for good measure. And I am also going to put in about probably 4 or 5 drops of the vanilla. So the vanilla's a bit thicker, it takes a little while to come out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It smells amazing. And I'm just going to mix that through just a little bit, just fold that through, and then I'm going to fold my whipped cream through. So here we go. So I'm just going to put some of this whipped cream in. I think I'll put the whole lot in, and then I will just fold it through very gently, because again, we want to keep the air in. So this ice cream is the real deal. You know, this is the way ice cream used to be, made with eggs and cream, and it's nice and light and kind of creamy and fluffy, and it's just the best ice cream. You haven't tasted ice cream unless you've tasted an ice cream made like this. So I'm just going to fold my egg mixture into the whipped cream. Now, sometimes I double this recipe, so that would be 8 eggs and 3 cups of cream, and that makes it kind of a decent batch of ice cream that will last for a while, especially if you've got visitors. I love the way this looks when you see those yellow egg yolks mixing through the cream, and it just looks so decadent and amazing and delicious. When I was making my keto version before carnivore, I used to add sugar-free chocolate chips quite often into the ice cream as well. You could add passion fruit if you have passion fruit. Anything that you get in a kind of your commercial ice cream flavors, you could add. Just depending on what you love. But if you're wanting to keep it carnivore friendly or keto friendly, no sugar, then you're going to want to make sure that whatever you're adding doesn't have any sugars as well. But if you're not worried about that, you can use honey as a sweetener, or you could use just normal sugar as a sweetener. Coconut sugar would probably be pretty amazing. You could make a coconut sugar sauce with some water and heat it and melt it and just drizzle that through so it didn't mix right the way through, so it would almost be like a caramel sauce. You know, the coconut sugar has this amazing caramel flavour, so that would be an option as well. So that looks like that's pretty well mixed. So I'm just going to find a container to put that into, and then I'm going to pop that in the freezer and freeze it. There we have it. Now, if you have a ice cream tune, then that would be perfect to do this. You could put it into your ice cream tune, and that would keep it nice and soft. I will endeavour to remember to go in and mix this every few hours. So as it's starting to freeze, if I go in with a spoon or a fork and just give it a mix around, that helps to keep it softer. But otherwise, if it sets hard, if you pop it in overnight and you forget about it and it sets hard, it's fine. It's still amazing. It's still delicious. You just need to get it out of the freezer, you know, maybe half an hour or so before you're going to eat. and just let it soften up a little bit to be able to dish it up easily. Another flavour variation that I just thought about, which would be amazing if you love lemon, that tangy, kind of sour lemon with something sweet, is to use the lemon essential oil plus some lemon zest. If you grated off a pile of lemon zest and put that through it, would be amazing. It's not something I've tried, but I may do that with my next batch. So that's it. So this is my ice cream, and I'm going to pop it in the freezer, and I'm going to enjoy that once it's ready. If you have any comments or questions about this recipe, pop them below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. If you like the video, make sure to subscribe, hit like, share, all that stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you again another day. Goodbye for now.